I am a failure.
I feel excluded.
I made a fool of myself.
I can't do it.
Self-doubts kick into all of us, all the time. We've all experienced moments where we shied away from making new experiences due to fear of failure or embarrassment. Perhaps we've been hurt in a past relationship, and we sort of strive away from making new experiences and meeting new people to avoid the risk of being rejected at a later stage. Or we haven't applied for this interesting and exciting job because we thought to ourselves we could not do it and we would not be worth it.
Our inner voice is telling us that it's okay not to go on that date or not even apply for the job. It is our way of dealing with failure and disappointment. It is a natural mechanism for us to create a safe space where we have a shield that shields us from the outside. However, there are times of vulnerability and stressful moments where it's actually the signal for growth.
We got inspired by nature. There is one creature that perfectly embodies the transformation from vulnerability to growth: the lobster. Here's why. As lobsters grow, the case that protects their soft inner flesh is sort of keeping them from growing any further. It becomes too tight, it becomes too rigid. In order to grow further, lobsters need to free themselves of that confining carapace in order to be able to grow more. So what they do is they crack open their shell and they sneak out of that shell. And during these very, very vulnerable times, they remove themselves, they withdraw themselves from their regular environment because they're exposed and they're unprotected. They grow this new shell, but before they do that, their tender flesh absorbs seawater and their body is able to grow bigger and heavier. They grow a new shell, and when that new shell becomes too tight again, they do it all over and over and over again. Jeanette, what has been your lobster moment, and how does it relate to boost equity at the Lego Group?
Yeah, I can think of many moments besides standing here right now. It is also early 22 when me and the family relocated from Denmark to Prague. And we both have a career, me and my partner. We have 2 kids. But we made a life choice to both continue with our career in Prague, meanwhile prioritizing family. Not an equal balance. Stressful at times. Juggling multiple roles and not being 100% in any of them. Landing in a new role, in a new country, dealing with the HR responsibilities of a war, and at the same time rushing home to pick up the kids from school, maybe even sometimes earlier because the head nurse was calling. Stressful. I also recall in the early days leading a leadership session with the full leadership team that flew in from all our different countries and offices to Prague. And as head of HR, I was the one leading that full HR day. I was excited about it. Together with the SVP, we were ready for it. I was not present. Philip had fallen sick, and someone had to take care of him. It was my turn. I was stressed. I was also nervous. Would the SVP respect my situation? What should I do? Would he accept my situation? Would I be a failure? So I decided to lead the session online while the rest of the team were sitting in the Prague office. It was a success, not only a success of leading the session, but also a success that actually it's possible to prioritize both work and family at the same time. So after the session, I received a few wow from the leaders about prioritizing both work and family at the same time successfully. But I also realized that I in the past had always been always on for work. So I realized it was the time for me to take a step back and reflect on that there's a change coming, and not only within me, but potentially also in the workplace that I was HR responsible for. So at the LEGO Group, we strive for equity. We strive for equity across all our locations. For us, equity is to acknowledge each and every one of us have a strength and a superpower. And with that strength and superpower comes a responsibility. We all have life choices, and let's make these life choices part of the career and not a pause from it, or maybe even sometimes a feeling of a sacrifice. Regardless of where we are on the journey, let's make the life choice part of it. There is no finish line. So at the LEGO Group, we work with phased return to work once you've been on a long leave. And for us, it is acknowledging that when you are ready to return to work, we reflect on the business priorities. Meanwhile, we reflect on the talent and the strengths of the superpowers. And we make a shared plan of the right time, at the right pace, to return to work. So for us, everyone has a superpower. It's recognized everywhere at the same time. So Martin, reflecting on this lobster moments, what's your lobster story?
Well, like you, Janet, and most of us here, I've had quite a few vulnerable moments throughout my professional career and also in my personal life. Taking a decision to move to China in 2020 with my wife Catherine and our son Tim has clearly been a lobster moment. Right? During 3 years in a very diverse cultural environment, heavily restricted by back then COVID-19, we were taken out of our comfort zones quite a bit. So we have experienced that vulnerability, while at the same time we've been able to experience and embrace the growth that comes with that. However, the most formative period in my life was in 2018, when my wife and I were about to become parents. On the outside, I might have appeared calm, confident, and ready. But quite frankly, on the inside, I was panicking. I can even feel my heart beat a little bit faster right now when I think back of that. Would I be ready to juggle all of the different tasks I was having and be the best father to Tim? I was sort of struggling. And whenever I was ruminating about work topics when I decided to leave the office early for a family dinner. On the opposite, I was worried about missing crucial family moments when I decided to stay at work and finish that task. So no matter what I did, my mind was occupied with something else, with the things that I did not have time to. And it was exactly during that time when I embarked on my own mindfulness journey. I started with very easy breathing exercises, and up until today I've kept it quite simple and lean. So I dedicate the first 15 minutes of my day to meditation practice. And on top of that, even though I'm considered a quite extrovert person and someone who is very sociable, I take quite some personal and alone time to think, to reflect, to exercise, to listen to podcasts, to music, or to read, like all of us, right? So you could argue putting yourself first is actually quite egocentric, right? While in reality it is not. Because if I am at my best, if I feel at ease, I can strive and I can live up to the demands of the people around me. I can be the best leader to my teams, co-worker to my peers, husband to Catherine, father to Tim, and son to my parents. Now, how has that transformed my leadership? It's basically down to 3 things. And the first thing is, meditation enables me to stay fully present, to listen actively, and to preserve high energy levels. The second thing is around psychological safety and the ability to create a safe space for all to fail, to reflect, to learn, and to grow. Within my leadership team and also the broader organization, we've made it a priority to celebrate successes and celebrate failures, and to extract the learnings that come from that. We're not perfect, we're on a journey, but we're fully motivated on that. And then the third one is around situational leadership. Situational leadership dependent on the situation, but also dependent on the person I'm talking to. And I'm sure most of you have heard about what is dictated or quoted as the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. It goes back to ancient Greece, it goes back to Egypt, to Confucius in China, or even to the Bible. But today is all about provoking new thinking and challenging the status quo. So allow me to give a very small twist to this famous golden rule. Treat others how they want to be treated. How they want to be treated. And to me, that perfectly symbolizes the saying, I embrace your individuality, I embrace you for who you truly are, and I truly respect you for that. And that to me is when equity is in full play.
So, we encourage each and every one of you to own your own destiny, own your own journey. Make your life choices part of the journey you're on and not a sacrifice. The road to equity is not a destination, but a journey in itself, and we are all on it together. So let's make sure change starts from within, and let's take full accountability of that, each and every one of us. Remember, the time of stress, pressure, maybe even restlessness is maybe the moment for you to stop, pause, reflect, because it is a signal for growth. So with these two posters, we're standing here with a call for action for you to pause for a minute, reflect on your lobster moment or moments. How did you feel? Did it transform you? And as you discover the feelings and how you transformed, discovering your new shield, take action and keep going, just like the lobster.
Next time we are wrecked with self-doubts, and let's not lie to ourselves, it will happen. Let's remind ourselves what the singer and songwriter Leonard Cohen said. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light comes in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dave, just one more question. How do you celebrate failures? Could you please elaborate? Thank you.
Say that again.
How we celebrate failures.
Failures.
So within our leadership team, we actually have regular dialogues like most of you have in your teams, etc. And there is one section that we dedicate to failures, but then we don't let it, sort of sink in with the failure, but we also like to take it to the next level, right? Pardon my French, but we sometimes call it fuck-up moments. And I think there's also a good laugh to be about it, right? I think the truth is, and the quality is, to sort of embed that into your regular routines and make everyone feel safe. And sometimes those things start to be led from the top when I stand in front of the team in a town hall, sharing how I failed, what I learned from that, and how it makes me grow a better person in whatever context we are.
Okay, thank you very much. Janet Ross, Martin, Siebenhandl, Lego Group, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.